Hey, what's happening, everyone? This is Aaron Jackson here with the Rotation Report. This is not financial advice. Have you forgotten about the Epstein files yet? Because a lot of shit happening out there, a lot of chaos in these streets. We might as well just get right into it, not even waste a second. The first thing that popped up, you know, this morning is everyone's freaking out about, European tariffs and Greenland and this and that. And then there's Japan's bond market. Well, how about gold running into this next extension level here out of this big base from 2011, this big range here? You can see it didn't really matter so much, just only temporary on the 1.618, but it did. It did act as a lid for, a couple months there. And then the 261, oh man, look at that. Kind of pushed right through it, but it did act as support there early in 2025. And then now we're just at the next one here, and you can see there's a little bit of a cluster, another short-term target zone here too. So interesting. What if this is the top in gold? Now I know, you know, of all people, me to say such things like I've been wrong about it, and that's just when you're wrong about something on a technical basis, it's not that you're wrong, it's that the market is the market is right and strong or whatever. And so, this could be another situation where it keeps plowing through. But man, like, trees don't go to the sky, do they? And then gold miners GDX also, same thing, an extension out of the base from 2011. So that's kind of interesting. You have a nice little confluence, but just in gold. If you try to pair silver in there, you're like, well, you get an XAU or some of these other indices, that just doesn't happen. It just doesn't line up. So, like, damn, damn, it's tough to be so bearish gold, and when it's just such a strong trend in the group. And we do think over 10, 20 years silver's going to 700. So, but maybe not next week. And then every time gold goes up, it's just like, okay, on the relative basis, all these other assets look more attractive, like your energy stocks. It doesn't have to stop here. Like gold versus energy can just keep going, but it's a very good bet that somewhere around here that's just done. And then the other move today, with the Japan yields, the U.S. Treasury yields are selling off on whatever news. You want to argue it's about Europe. Well, I don't know. They're going to work out this trade deal because I think Europe imports LNG, and then you're just putting their energy costs, their heating costs in the dead of winter up. So I'm pretty sure something's going to work out eventually. And then the TLT here, you can see sharp sell off and reversal off the 50-day. There was a little bit of a bullish divergence there. I think we're going to have to ignore that for now. But let's see how this TLT RSI closes. Does it hold that 40? That'd be kind of interesting. And then you can see this morning, just a nice little uptick in fear, finally getting some real fear in the tape. Do we want to be bearish everything? Probably not. But I will say we do have value versus growth completing a bottom here. And you notice on these other recent spikes, oftentimes that's just actually indicative of a market correction underway. So you could say we are early in a corrective period here. Like, would not be surprised to see that. Like, every morning, the, retail, me and you, we're all just buying dips on the open, crowding into trades, shoving them higher. And then that's cool. But like Asia's like kind of running the trading world now. So shit happens overnight. And that's where, we got to be mindful of the overnight action. So, intraday trades better probably than overnight trades. And then, not going to get too bearish when you have semiconductors looking like this, trading like this, strong uptrend, accelerating higher. Clearly, Taiwan somebody's like, yeah, no, the silicon is where the supply crunch is. And yeah, sure trades like it, right? So, 8,300 in stocks looks good, 10,000 in stocks, another target in the intermediate term, so we're just kind of balancing these trades back and forth here. Probably still looking for opportunities in semis while acknowledging, something else could be going on in the broader market. It's messy. Stood out was Micron. Did you guys see that Micron had an insider buy at 337 or so last week, average price? So they bought the dip, just the immediate dip there in Micron. And why on earth? So I did a little digging, and it turns out the board member, director, whoever that did it, they're from Taiwan. So okay, I'm just gonna say it again. Do they know something's up with China? Do they know is there going to be an invasion of Taiwan? And they're just like, well, we're the only memory producer. If they shut down all of like the I guess it would be Eastern Pacific Ocean, yeah, if that's all shut down with like some World War III shit, then Micron's like the only one making high bandwidth memory in the US. That's interesting. Maybe. And if we look at Intel, like that is that's the portfolio hedge for all these things, right? For like a something popping off over in Taiwan, that's Intel. They're, the big foundry, in the US. So, that's your hedge there. And it's also US champion, all sorts of stuff. And you never know. Maybe Trump gets a little crazy and starts doing some tariffs on some semis. And who knows what the hell is going on with all that. But you can see some resistance around here. But man, just another semiconductor that hadn't gone anywhere since, the height of the tech bubble. So definitely strategically, hedging, those are interesting hedges, right? And then but not all the semis are working. Here's Nvidia, could that be is that a head and shoulders top here? I did the math on it. If that's the top, you'd say your measurement's about 120. Regardless, stuck under 196, you do kind of expect, like, if it's not going to pop back through the 195, 196, logically the next step would be test 150-ish. So low 150s, something like that. But you get back above that 196 or whatever, then okay, maybe 260. That'd be interesting. But kind of looks like the big tech stocks are just the place we do not want to be. But interestingly, there's this idea that maybe, hey, Nvidia's for training, and AMD, their chips are a little cheaper, a little whatever, better for inference. And man, it does appear that we just have a massive bottoming formation over the last couple of years of AMD relative to Nvidia. So look at that thing starting to outperform this week. So I think AMD is trading well today, and why not? Why not? So AMD over Nvidia appears to be the trade here. And then we look into these all these various chip stocks and whatever. You just go through the whole chart book, and it's like, oh my God, there's more just setting up. Ultra Clean Holdings. I don't know that much about it, but you see, this was like a broadening, pattern. Now it's like gonna approach this upper boundary here. I mean, who knows if the stocks rally is going to continue, the shortages persist and things pop off, like who knows what can happen with that one. And then one I'm watching is this is Lumentum Light. They are like a networking component supplier, and there's been a big shortage there, but it's kind of stalling out here around 350, kind of a little fake breakout there at the level. So some of these networking component type of plays and just materials plays, they're kind of slipping in the networking space, but we'll see. Very strong trends, very insane moves there. We want to keep an eye on the light. And then I don't think it's all bad out here. I did a little dip buying in the power generation. There was some power Trump headlines, and then there's something going on with that East Coast grid operator, PGM or whoever they are. Very is the whole idea. So the energy infrastructure, power kind of infrastructure trades remain hot. And this Amoresco, if you go on the weekly, it's kind of like a little bullish wedge look there, kind of firming up. And we'll see if it can stick above this 50-day moving average here. If so, maybe this thing can get ripping right back to the old high. But, we'll see how today trades. It's basically flat, up, maybe up a little bit since I put this chart in here. We'll say you get this nice little moving average cluster to shoot against something. Pick a moving averages or high or low there, right around 30. Makes for an interesting long, in my opinion. And then just when we're going through all these damn charts, we could be bearish on like the big stocks, the S&P 500, even your major indices. But man, like anything that's like, oh yeah, no, we're building shit again in America, or reindustrializing trades, or any like electrical components, those type of trades, like it's just like, damn, there are just setups just everywhere. Here's DMC Global, don't even know it, but again, this is just like my favorite example. Like, look at this, major lows in play here, massive divergence, clearly something's up, clearly it could have a Ripper in it. And these random names that no one knows about are just all over the damn place. So that'll do it for me today. But yeah, if you like the video, do me a favor and like the video. And until next time, everyone, y'all have a great day.